Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. This is Dharam Singh, and I'm here with the lovely lady Rashmi. She is going to talk something unique today, sharing her experience, especially while working in a project and program management. So, Rashmi, welcome to this event. Thank you for accepting my invite.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. So before I introduce Rashmi, let me talk about myself. My name is Dharam Singh. If you don't know yet, I have been training project managers, program managers, portfolio managers around the world. And I'm very, very happy to say that I have now 326 PgMPs from 44 countries and 61 PfMPs. Should I be proud of this? Of course, I am. Every person is very special, especially with PgMP, PfMP, PMPs. So they work really hard and they got the success, and I take the credit. And that applies to Rashmi as well. She joined my program last year in October, along with other 3 people, and she worked really hard. And we finished the program in December, and she completed her PgMP on 9th of January. And I remember that 9th of January because she called me and said, Dharam, I passed the exam. It's not new for me, but somehow she was very excited. She said, Dharam, exam was very, very easy. Remember that? Exam was very easy. I said, okay, let me tell me more about it. So Dharam, the exam was easy. I was able to complete the exam in 3 hours, 3 hours, 15 minutes. And I done some, check here and there. Then I was feeling bored, and then press the button, and you passed the exam with above target.
Yes, above target, and I did like this. Finally, it's done.
Exactly. So that's why and she's very excited while going through the process. And I think, okay, why not let Rashmi share her experience about PgMP journey, and I have few questions for her. So I will be asking her those questions, and yeah, so she has prepared slides as well, and so she will be sharing her slides as well. So a little bit about where I am and what I have been doing. So I have a company called vCare Project Management. So I started this company when I was in Sydney. I started this company in Sydney, Australia, 2011, and since that time, the company has grown up into multiple training services, including PgMP, PfMP, and PMP. So these are our signature programs. We got RMP, risk management. Now we have started DA programs as well, Discipline Agile, and also Scale Agile framework. If you are into Agile, you like to explore those options as well. So I have very good team around me, so they can help you with any of certificate. Most of the certificate we can take, and not only certificate, but also non-certificate events as well. If you just want to get project management, program management, portfolio management. All right, enough about me, and let me introduce Rashmi now. So she is currently in Toronto, and you are in Toronto for a long time now, Toronto and Canada, and you are now PgMP, and you are PMP for some time, and you're CSM and MSP, and working for BMO Financial Group. So you are accomplished project manager, program manager, more than 15 years experience. So you have worked for many companies, HSBC, RBS, and Orange Business Services.
That's right. So my main experience is in the banking sector, financial sector, and currently I'm also working with one of the top 5 bank of Canada.
Perfect. Yeah, we will talk more about your journey at PgMP, but before that, I will have a few questions for you, which you already know, and hopefully we'll able to give a good package to people listening today. And I do have a PDU code for this. I will be sharing that with PDU code a little later in the session. And I do have a special offer if anybody who's joining, attending this program and want to join one of my programs. And there are some other categories as well. So women in profession, disabled professionals, for any disability and veteran. So just keep an eye if you are one of these categories, so you will know some good surprises. So I have a lot to talk today, and as you can see on the screen, we're talking about reality check, and we will talk about project management framework. We'll talk about especially the current environment, VUCA, and what is this mean on delivering on time within budget, with all this volatility going on, complexity around us, and all kind of things. So we'll talk more about that. But before we get into that, I'd like to acknowledge that we are going through a very tough time, still going through a tough time. We started last year, January. We lost full 1 year and already half a year gone, 4 months gone. COVID is still impacting, especially currently it's impacting India and a few other countries. But India, we are both connected with India, so we know what's going on. So it's a very sad moment. I mean, a lot of friends and have lost their life, or they are struggling with their life. So I just want to acknowledge them and wish them their health, quick recovery, and hopefully we will all be out of this mess very, very soon, and we can do the better things in our life. So please, pray for them and think about them, whoever is going through this process, but yeah, uncertainty. So, and as a professional, we are not in medical, but whatever we can do from our side, we should be doing it. Whether we can give any financial support or physical support, mental support, spiritual support, we should keep doing it to the families and friends around the world. And if I can be any help to anyone, please feel free to reach out to me. Anything, whatever needs you have, and not just certification side, but anything I can work with you and let me know. If you're looking for a job, you can't get into a job. So yeah, so I thought to remind that we are in tough time, but this is your this can be your opportunity as well. While we are going through this uncertainty, you can build your knowledge, you build your skills to be ready for better times. As we know that this is not going to last forever. It may be another 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, but we will come out. So you like to be more ready for the a new environment or new world. So with this in mind, I started this series, invited lots of people in past. They have shared their experiences and learning. So if you have not watched those videos, lots of videos are available on YouTube and on my channel. Please subscribe them and keep watching. There are more and more coming in future, and hopefully one day you will be in my webinar. So keep an eye on that. So thanks for listening, and thanks for joining today. Rashmi, once again, thank you. I'd like to start with my questions. And the guys, you have opportunity to ask question. Whenever you feel like, please ask questions on the question pad. Where is my question pad? Just a minute, just in case. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Rashmi, you're ready with your?
Yes.
All right. So Rashmi, you are coming with project and program management experience, and you have worked with different type of methodologies, framework. And so how the choice of framework methodology impact the project delivery? What makes a difference?
So for business, so there are two perspectives. One, how does it impact business? And other is how does it impact the project manager or the person who's responsible for the delivery? For business, they have a vision in mind, or they have a benefit in mind which they want to achieve through a particular program or project. It doesn't matter to them which methodology you are using. They want the end result, which has been documented and which has been agreed with all. But for project manager, it really matters the most. There are certain kind of project which works well with the waterfall methodology. There are certain kind of projects which work with agile more. So let's first look into the difference between these two methodologies, and then I'll say which one is better or which one is not. So Waterfall was initiated or was designed long back for manufacturing and construction industry, because they have a sequence of work. They don't have to do parallel work. They have a kind of sequence they follows. So that's how it was started, and then it moved into the IT world as well, mainly for the software development lifecycle. There are certain advantages of Waterfall and disadvantages as well. So I'll start with advantage. So Waterfall has a very well-defined scope. You know in the start what you are going to achieve, what you want from that project. It's very easy to have defined roles and responsibility. You have a QA lead on the project, you have a tech lead, UAT lead, and the different developers who are working with you. It's easy to have the resource plan in place, get the resources, all because you know what each resource is going to do, how they are contributing to the overall project. Documentation is quite heavy in Waterfall, so you have well document for the scope that's signed off. If anything changes, there is a lot of implementations, everybody understands, so they don't come to you, the business doesn't come to you every other day for saying I want to change that, I want to change this. That doesn't happen much in the Waterfall. The main disadvantage is that the developers, who are people who are actually working, they are working in the silos. They are not talking much to each other. That collaborative environment is missing from the Waterfall, because you don't have that much of meetings. What project managers generally do, they divide the work. So this is the functionality you are developing, and this is the functionality you are developing. Now, once everybody has developed their own functionalities and the time has come for the integration testing, then it might not work. And because we wait for entire package or entire software to be finished before passing it to QA, there is a late discovery of defects. Then you have a sequence cycle of 2 to 3 months, 4 months, depending upon your project for the QA. So that enhances the duration. There's also delay in decision making, because there are so many people in the hierarchy for which you have to take approval if you have to make even a small change. Change is something which is not very well encouraged in Waterfall methodology. Some of the examples where we generally use Waterfall is infrastructure projects, because there's not much development. Either you are upgrading, say, from Windows 2008 to Windows 2016, or .NET Framework upgrade, or replacement of data center switches and network, these kind of projects. They are very well suited for Waterfall, because there is less change expected. If you have to replace something, if you have to upgrade something because it's end of life, end of support, then that's the same process which you can follow, and it has been done over and over again with the same standards. Now let's look at the Agile as well. So Agile is fairly new. It is not as old as Waterfall. It is mainly designed, it was designed only for the software industry. It's not much used anywhere else. It started with the software industry with developer as a focus in mind. The key benefit is that because co-location was the main idea behind this. So that means all the developers are sitting in one same room or one same location. They have an opportunity to frequently communicate with each other. You have a daily sprint sessions in the morning, so where everybody comes, discuss what they are doing, what is the issues, anybody can help each other. So that's very good thing with the Agile, this frequent communication. Because you are focusing on that sprint only, and business get opportunity to check that piece of software at that time. If there's an issue, you can quickly respond. Let's make the change. Let's add this in the next sprint. If there's another further issue, let's have this again in the next sprint. So the turnaround time become very quick.
Exactly.
So what is not right in Agile? Why not all projects should adapt the Agile if it's so good? But there are certain challenges in the Agile as well. The first and foremost is that business take this as, I sometimes feel that business take this as excuse that, this is Agile, so let's pass on the vague scope. Even if they just have an idea, they themselves are not sure what they want, they'll just pass on that as a scope, and then BAs or developers, they will struggle in delivering and then back again and again, and this impact the cost. We are an industry where cost is not, making the cost higher is not good. Everybody wants to be control their cost, reduce their expenses. Project is also kind of expense on the company's books, so you want to control your expenses. So if you keep going back and forth between business and developer that, okay, this is not good, let's try this, you don't have a logged in scope, then it increases your time and cost both. in IT industry, we keep on moving. I mean, people keep changing jobs because there is not a strong documentation in Agile. Then when resource move and the new person come in, you don't know what the other person has done. And if your code is in the QA stage and there are defects, then the new developers has to start working on it without knowing the total how he developed the code and all. So that lack of documentation or not heavily on the documentation can also create issues sometimes. Agile is mainly used in medium to large scale projects, especially for the digital projects. With this COVID wave, these digitization projects are the priority for all organizations. There were a lot of things which we used to do in branches, bank branches, or in offices, which are now converted into digital. Nobody want to go out of their house, so there is a high demand of digital projects. So Agile is suited for those digital projects.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Thanks for explaining both sides. And so it depends on, I think it depends on the type of work, as you correctly said. Even the same organization, same people, they may choose to go for Waterfall, they may choose to go for Agile. And in a program, you may have a certain projects you're doing as Agile, some projects you're doing in hybrid, you're also doing some projects in Waterfall. And depends, as you mentioned, it depends on the nature of work you're doing.
Right. So it's like I consider two main things which you need to consider while you are selecting the methodology. Requirement. Is your requirement straightforward, simple, very close to agreement? Everybody agree, yes, this is what we want. They have a crystal clear picture on the end product. Then you should follow the waterfall. If it's complicated, if it comes under complex technology, you are using these days we are making the AI models for the propensity models to predict the business behavior, to predict the consumer behavior. Those kind of projects cannot be considered as simple and straightforward. Then you can utilize the hybrid methodology. So what is the advantage of hybrid is that you can pick the positive side of both methodologies and have your own set of processes. So for example, instead of so like Waterfall, you cannot have a fixed scope, which is fine, but you can divide the work into the packages. Certain work packages can be done in an Agile way, and certain work packages can be done in a Waterfall way. The best example is website development. So the front end can be done in Agile way because you're working on the functionality of the application of the website, but the backend integration with the legacy system, that can be done in a Waterfall way because it's a kind of infra work. So you need to integrate, whether it's on SQL or Oracle server, you need to integrate with the legacy structure. That can be done through Waterfall way. There are certain projects which are only possible through Agile, where you just have a vague idea, then it is best managed by Agile. So if you consider these things in mind, it's easy to decide what is the way possible. And if hybrid is possible, then I feel that is the best way and the way forward.
Right. And Rashmi, I don't know how much you know about DA. DA is a PMI, is a new certification, a set of new certificates. They call it.
I read on your site only through your things which you keep on posting on the LinkedIn icon. So maybe you can shed some light on this. It will be beneficial for all.
Yeah. So in DA, they talk about way of working. Wow. And they're not saying just go for Agile or go for Lean or go for Waterfall. There's a structure that helps you to select which kind of methodology is applicable for this kind of work, that kind of work, that kind of work. So when I was doing my DA certificate, DSM, DSSM, I found that part very interesting. While still staying with Agile and adding, PMI has added one more layer on top of it, so people can select what they wanted to do as part of when selection is happening.
Okay.
Great. Okay, perfect. Rashmi, I have another question for you.
Sure.
How can hybrid Agile be considered as standard? You talked about it, and to do, you talked about various type of approach. So can we consider hybrid Agile as one of the de facto approach?
Yes, definitely. That's working for me. I feel that's working for most of the industries. It's a way forward, and we should try to incorporate that in our projects.
So what advantage we'll get if we do it? I know the Agile people talk about no documentation, or they actually use it literally. When Agile is saying less documentation, but some people say, what, Agile is saying low documentation.
That's the excuse you use. So that's what is happening. People are using it as excuse. It's Agile, you don't need documentation, but it depends upon what is your industry. So if you're working in bank, which are heavily audit focused, everything get audited, all projects audited. If you work, you don't have any documentation, you cannot prove to your auditors that you have done it with the required governance.
Yeah, and that's where the risk is. That's a huge risk. And another thing is, if you don't have documentation, people leaving organization now here and there, as you mentioned correctly, they take over the knowledge, and you left with nothing. So huge risk. Okay, great. So what is the impact of team integration and group cohesion in project delivery performance?
So let me start with a short story here, not related to IT or banking world. It's a generic one, which I feel it's just good to share with all. So once, because we are in COVID era, there was so much hospital in the mind. So once there was a hospital room in which there was a surgery going on, a lot of doctors working on a patient, and nurses were there who generally support the doctor. Give me this, give me that kind of work. Not doing anything on the patient, but handing over the stuff to doctor. So while doing surgery, there was some instrument or some minor thing left in the patient's stomach, and doctor stitched it up, and it's done. So he didn't notice. He might be in a hurry or something. Mistakes happen. Though it's a human body, it should not happen. That day it happened, and so one of the nurse noticed it, and she waved a hand just to say to doctor that this has happened. But doctor said, I've not asked you, you're not here to advise me. He didn't listen what she wanted to say. She just raised hand, and he was like, no, let me complete my job, I'm busy. It was done, patient went home. He obviously got pain and all. After 5 days, whatever, he comes back, and doctor need to re-operate him. And if he could have listened that nurse on that day, they could have saved the patient's worry, which they have to focus. In the training room, there was another surgery going on. It went well. There was nothing. They didn't leave anything in the patient's stomach at all. But what that doctor do after surgery, he called all the people who were in that room, and they discussed what went well, what we could have done. Was there anything you noticed while doing? Was patient's condition was stable, and all those things. So they have a kind of post-implementation discussion, post-discussion. So that's the kind of difference. You have to listen to everybody in the group. Everybody can bring up with useful, valuable suggestions. For the team integration, if team is working well, they are gel, they are open to listen to each other, because you are working toward a common goal. So exactly. It's a responsibility of project manager to give opportunity to all to speak in the conversations. If there is some certain members who are not open to speaking, it's your responsibility to encourage them. When you talk, you can generate a lot of ideas. And these projects are so complex these days. If you don't explore, keep using the same stuff, you won't discover the new ways of working, which is very much required in this.
Exactly.
So it is indeed very important.
Yeah, I mean, Rashmi, is a great way of explaining this example or this topic. The way first group of doctor and operations are going on, the second way, and in this case, you did talk about how this group discussion or retrospective, which happened in Agile, help them to improve themselves, not only in this operation, maybe in the future operations or when they work together. It's all about capturing the lessons so we don't repeat the same mistake again.
Yes, absolutely. We need to keep improving ourselves, better than ourselves in the next run, in the next project. That's the beauty of project management. I really like this thing about our profession, is that every 1 year, 2 year, whatever is the duration of our project, next project is something new, something absolutely new, and you have a lot of lesson learns, and you start with the new motivation.
Exactly. Another thing is we're talking about, the team collaboration, cohesiveness, and by having these retrospectives and inviting in some reviews or team activities, that builds a bonding within the team members.
Right.
And that's very important for when you're working in a team, or let's say, let's take example of soccer, when people the 11 players are playing together against other team, they have to have some coordination. That comes when they have the team bondings. Otherwise, one person takes the ball and they get defeated and continue losing the game. But yes, winning team, they have collaboration, and motivation come by having team activities.
Right. Completely agree.
All right. So, guys, you do have option to ask questions, so please feel free to write questions. I will ask Rashmi, or I can answer your questions. So please keep writing. So Rashmi, I have another question. This is coming from benefit management and program governance. So how benefit management and program governance aid in assessing value delivered?
So when we think of benefit management, there are so many questions which comes to our mind, whether I have identified the right benefit. People or everybody in the organization is interested in their deliverable, what they need to deliver, but nobody want to take responsibility whether the deliverable is converting into benefit or not, which is a key concept which I also learned from you during my PgMP training, because it's very heavily focused on the benefit management. As a project manager, the focus is deliverable. This is the piece I need to deliver it to business. We don't think whether it is actually adding some value, it is enhancing the project, it is enhancing the business in terms of tangible benefits, financial benefits, or a non-tangible benefits in terms of value add or increase the brand value, those kind of things. So it is a responsibility of leader or a project manager to understand whether your benefit, your project is actually delivering the benefit to the business or not. You need to motivate your team to work toward that goal. You need, it is from the both side, to the technical team and to the business who's taking this benefit. What happens is when the project duration is very long, everybody think, okay, this is in the third year, this is in the second year, it's still so far, we don't have to think about the benefit now, we think at the end of the day, end of the year, but then that end never comes. That's why the benefit realization, the things which you learn in your PgMP training and then you actually use in the programs, you need to documenting your benefit in the beginning and keep tracking. There should be a responsible owner of each benefit, and there's a very fixed way of tracking those benefits. These things should need to be done for the value addition. End of the day, it's the value which matter, which you are adding to your organization.
Exactly. Yeah, so as you correctly mentioned, PfMP, the standard for program management, is very heavy on benefit management, benefit sustainment. And as early as possible, you identify them, have a plan to realize those benefits, and you also plan to transition them to right people so that they can sustain it. Exactly. And with the governance come in picture, governance is making sure whatever you said in your benefit management plan, you're actually delivering them. And if you don't have strong governance, you may not able to achieve those benefits. And that's where sometimes the program gets failed. They consider failed because yes, on time, within budget, quality was there, but people are still not using it. What happened? Because one component was missed, the stakeholder engagement was missed. You have not engaged the stakeholder enough, providing the right training, right mindset, right approach. And once the program finished, they accepted the product, but they are not using that as much as they should have done. So you may realize that after spending millions of dollars, and people are still going back to their Excel spreadsheet or the basic way of doing things without realizing those benefits. So hence you have to spend time to work with your stakeholders who are expecting the benefit, take them through journey, make sure they're ready to use it, they're excited to use it.
That's where the change manager also come into the picture. Your Excel example just just remind me of my current projects. It's exactly the same thing which I'm doing in my current project, is that we are trying to bring some actuarial, some financial folks out of this Excel, but Excel is so hard coded in their mind that they don't want to out. They don't want to use the new technologies, which will make their job easier. It is their management focus to, give them the tools so that they don't do the hard work, they do the smart work. But when somebody's using something from last 10-15 years, they just don't want to change. So that's also part of the project manager or the change manager responsibility to show them the bigger picture, what benefit you will get out of that. It's just an initial inertia that they don't want to do it, but once they start using it, it will be beneficial for the organization and for them as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. When they are so attached with the previous way of doing things, unless they see the motivation they have, like that they're going to see some benefit, or advantage, they will not move. And
Yes.
sometimes you have to spend enough time with them to show them that yes, this is how their life will change after using this fully automatic tool, and they don't have to depend on these formulas. Which, problem with Excel is you made a mistake somewhere in the formula, it's not easy to figure out, and especially for me. But but yeah, if you can get them to ask for the change, I know it's a difficult thing. If they're asking for the change, then the program, your half work is done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can try at home with the kids, or some your stakeholder. You can bring a very nice toy or bicycle to them. They're spending so much money. You say, this is the best bicycle I got for you. They probably look at you and say, you know what, I'm not interested. I have a friends to talk on the phone or the internet or something. But if you can make them to ask for the bicycle or whatever, then they will, your job is all done.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Encouraging them to demand for that. Sometimes at home, actually, I have used that negative psychology. You can, you know that. Encouraging them, you cannot do this. I don't think you can do it.
They'll come back straightforward. I can do it.
Yeah, exactly. I know. You can apply that when they're young, but when they're getting the older age, they know that the tricks we have been using.
Mine are still young, so I keep using these tricks. It's working so far, so hope so it will continue for some time.
Exactly. And these tricks you're applying at home, but we can actually use them sometime with our stakeholders at work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. In reality, whether on time, on budget, within the due date is possibility in a VUCA environment. I'll ask you to define VUCA. Do stakeholder and sponsor develop the mindset to accept the ground reality?
So yeah. VUCA term, this first came with the US military. They actually derived this term in the year when there was a Cold War. When it actually ended, they realized that it needs a strong leadership. A strong leader only can adapt to the environment we are entering, which is volatile, which is uncertain, which is complicated, and which is ambiguous. So a regular leader cannot sustain in this environment. We need to have certain characteristics to move forward with the uncertainties we are dealing with. It is a digital world. Earlier, so for volatile, for example, earlier when there was a new product in the market, it used to stay, that same product was getting used for 15 to 20 years. Now that cycle is 1 to 5 years. It might be just in the market heavily used for 1 year, and up to 5 years, then it is gone and a new trendy product is in the market. So the businesses have to keep improving, keep reinventing, and from instead of V for volatile, they should move V for vision. They need to have vision for the next product, for the next delivery, for the next target which they have. Then only you can survive in this uncertain world. So there is a lot of uncertainty because like COVID has happened, nobody predicted it. But everybody adapted to it because you didn't have any choice. You have to have that mentality that anything can happen. I have to have agility in place and just change quickly and adapt to the scenario and keep delivering what is expected of me. There is a complexity around us. We are not living in a straightforward world. It's a digital world. Many people still don't understand how to kind of work on the digital project or what is that customer need. So you need to keep yourself updated on the new technologies. You need to make sure that the end result or end user is still getting the simple product which they need. In the back end, you might be using the AI or robotic arm or whatever data warehouse tools you have in the background, but the front end should look simple and easy to use. If the front end is complicated, then the back end things are easy. Generally, they happen. It's easy for developers to work. But if you have to make the user view, the GUI view very easy, you need to have a good technologies in the background. So that is very important. Even if there is an ambiguity, you don't know, then you don't have to look into the far future. You can look into the near future. Next 3 months, I know this need to be done. Next 6 months, for this quarter, this need to be done. For half year, this is my target. This need to be done. At least for the near future, you can have the clarity and have an agile mindset. Agile, now I'm not talking about the agile methodology, but as a mindset that yes, I am ready for whatever it brings to me, whatever is required to keep delivering the benefits. There was a study done by McKinsey and Corporation that is coming unexpected, just ready to harness that opportunity. Anything can come.
Sorry, Rashmi, there was for last 30 seconds, there was no voice. Sorry.
Okay. Am I clear now?
Yeah, now you're clear.
Okay, so I was just saying, we don't have to be in that 30% of category. We don't have to be in that 70% category where projects fail. We can use certain techniques and be in those 30% projects which actually pass. We need to be agile, ready to change ourselves as per the new demands. If there is an opportunity coming up, you should be ready to harness that opportunity for the benefit of your project or benefit of your business. So by employing these techniques, it is still possible in the VUCA world to deliver on time, on budget. It's just that you need to maintain the transparency. If there's one package or one deliverable getting late, just be transparent. This is what has happened. This is what next time doing. The focus should be on what you are doing to bring back the situation in control, under control. There's a saying, don't take only the questions to your manager or to your stakeholders. Come up with the answers, with the options to choose from. And they don't have any surprises. Nobody likes surprises. So they should know what is coming their way, even if it's not a good news, rather than getting to know from somebody else. If it's a PM who's doing that communication, it works.
Great. And now it's definitely a good way of looking, especially in the current environment where things are very volatile and Corona is creating all kind of complexity. So we need to look at, you correctly mentioned agile mindset, very important. What was working previously is not going to work now. So how can we change our direction, change our vision, and keep growing? Not just staying alive, but even growing from this situation.
Right.
So that's something we should all look for. I know there are a lot of negativity around us because of this health issues going on, and in reality we can't do much about them other than taking care of whatever we can do from our side. But what we can do, we stay strong and positive and still continue to grow ourselves, mindset on one topic, the mindset point of view. So that's very valid discussion. Thanks, Rashmi. Good point.
There is also opportunity here. Like, I know we are in the situation where we have to stick to our homes, but this time we are kind of saving time. There is a lot of commutation time. Like when I used to work, I still when I used to work from office. So there was 2 hours of my day spent in going, coming, 1 hour one way. So I'm saving 2 hours is a big time in a day. 2 hours I'm saving, and then dressing up and getting ready, that time is still different. So I'm saving good amount of time, which we could utilize for our benefit, for our further studies. When you 10-15 years into your career, there's no time for study at all. So I feel this uneven circumstances have given that opportunity, and I actually utilized that opportunity for working for my PgMP. I saved those morning and evening hours. I saved from commute on studying, and I felt, okay, something good I have gained for myself personally in that situation. So I harnessed this as an opportunity.
Exactly. You know, rightly said. Yeah, yes, you are saving time and dressing up and commuting time and all kind of thing. So that can be utilized. Of course, you know, family time, you're spending more time with family, but at the same time, think about what else I can do in the extra time I have. Other thing, you think, you know what, I can watch lots of movies. Is it the productive way? I mean, watching movies, you have another fun, but can I utilize this time to, you know, build my skills or be better in my, the way I'm handling my project or programs? So get some certification, PgMP, PMP, or PfMP, DA, so many certificates available. And I've seen people get headhunted because of having this certificate. And, you know, some people are getting up to 100% salary raise, 60%. It's becoming common. So,
Yes.
you know, I've seen that actually. One person from Malaysia, he was headhunted by the largest telecom company. He was given 60% extra, you know, salary. So it is very, very common having right certificate with you. So yeah, we continue to build on this. Rashmi, I still have lots of questions for you. So let's talk about what is your take on risk, particularly in the project delivery. So risk as a threat, as an opportunity, risk as a failure.
I'll cross one thing: risk is never a failure, so that's not an option. Risk has two sides. Like there are positive risk and there are negative risk. So positive risk comes in terms of opportunity, and negative risk comes in form of a threat. It's a job of project manager, program manager to increase those positive risks, increase the likelihood that these positive risks come to you and you turn them into an opportunity, and decrease the likelihood of the negative risks, the threats. First thing is identification. Once you identify the risk, you can manage it well. Identification is like your half job is done. If you have not identified it, then it can be a bigger threat than you have imagined. And risk is not bad. We should never say that there should not be any risk in the project. It's good to have risk, so that at least you know, okay, this can go wrong. This is what I can do to correct it. And always we assign the categories to the risk: high, medium, low. If it's a critical or low risk. So if it's a critical risk or a high category risk, your stakeholders get attention to it. They understand, they come up to your support. End of the day, it's the whole team who's working for the mutual objective. So you need to highlight them, otherwise everybody's bogged down with their work. You're working on multiple projects, you kind of take things lightly. But when on your dashboard some risk is showing in the red color with a high priority, everybody get into that. Okay, let's get together and see what we can do to mitigate this risk, whether we can avoid it or we can transfer it. There are so many strategies which PMI say which we can adopt to it. It gives you an opportunity for the meaningful discussion as well. Yes. And then it might be a new opportunity. Okay, this has happened, can we include this in the scope if something else has come up? Maybe our benefit is increased because of this risk. And by maintaining clear communication, you avoid the inappropriate reactions always. Okay, even if risk is converted into issue, everybody was well aware, and you have some techniques in place which can be used now.
Exactly. And I see risk management is the clear difference between the professional project manager, program manager versus, you know, somebody who is promoted as project manager with the, you know, things that people can coordinate work. You have receptionists, you have a executive assistant, they can coordinate the work. But the knowledge of risk, identifying the right risk and having a right plan is a skill you need to develop. And that's, of course, practice. And if you have seen that risk happening, right, maturity of organization, and by doing certain certificate can also help you to be more proactive in risk management, having a right strategy for if something goes wrong, you are ready for handling those situations.
This is also one of the important interview questions. You know, when you're going for an interview, they always ask, you know, what are the top 3 priorities of a program manager or a project manager. This is one of the appropriate answer that you keep an eye on the risk throughout the duration of your program or a project.
Exactly.
Risk convert into a threat to project. You keep on working, that you utilize opportunity, but keep risk under control. That's a key skill of a program manager, project manager.
Perfect. All right, good. Rashmi, I know we have talked about your PgMP journey a little bit, but let's listen from you. Share your experience as a PgMP in the PgMP. What inspired you to take this special, elite certificate?
I was thinking about this certificate from last 5 years at least. That's the long duration how I was thinking I need to get it. You know, when you are a project manager from long and you need to see what is next for me. I am kind of person who want to improve myself every year, every second year. When I see the improvement, it is a next, it's a kind of obvious next set, and there are only 3,000 or 3,500 PgMP in the world, which make it very elite. So I wanted to have that PgMPR written in my resume, in my LinkedIn profile, and get the knowledge as well. When I started, the initial push was to have, you know, something good, some elite certification. When I actually started studying with you, then when I understand, I felt even in my projects, the bigger programs which I'm handling, it's helping so much. My entire focus is now on the benefit delivery. Earlier, that benefit word was not that much in my dictionary. Now everything, even a small package I'm delivering, I'm seeing whether it's providing any benefit or not. It really helps in your day-to-day work, day-to-day program. Secondly, it opened doors for the opportunity. You are ready for your next level, or even if you're already program manager, it shows that you have the required knowledge to take on the bigger programs, bigger initiative in the large organizations. There are certain jobs in the market which will say that they need PgMP only. So you will be one of the very few applicants who have this certificate. So that makes you stand out from the crowd. So we don't want to do what everybody else is doing. If you want to separate you out from the crowd, this is the certification in the project domain, which is very well appreciated with your current organization, with your future organization as well. And as I said in the beginning, so I was thinking about this certification from long, that I have to do it, but it needs a lot of dedication, which I was lacking in the beginning. But when I started classes with you, you know, that doing that group session, there are 4 people who are doing the same thing as you. It really motivates you. And I like that 6 weeks session. So 1 week you do 1 class, you have this homework. So, you know, again, divided into work package. I don't have to look for entire syllabus, which seems so big. I just have to focus this 2 chapter. This is my homework. Dharam is going to take my test next week. I just have to prepare this one. So having that near future thing, not the long goal, keep me motivated, and I was able to do it in 12 weeks time, I think, which is kind of very short period, but I was focused. I don't want to stretch it. 6 weeks your session, 3-4 weeks after that self study, and then give the exam. And fortunately it went well.
Exactly. And I think you submit the application once you started the program. So from start to end, it was almost 10 weeks. So in a way, you're lucky that your application was not taken short duration. And I mean, I was impressed by your preparation. Whenever you're coming to the class, you're very well prepared. You're answering the question were to the point. And so I was very that because this is the purpose of this program. You know what? If you have done the homework, you've gone through the video, you watched done your reading, writing, you build your questions, you will be more present in the class. And how, 90% study is done while you go through this program. Then 10% and the question answering you will be doing next 2, 3, 4 weeks. So identify the gaps and work on the gaps, and then you are done.
Absolutely. There is
And
no good material for PgMP in the market. That's what I feel. So when we did PMP, it's like hell lot of material. You don't have to worry about that, and it's good material. It's not some simple material. You get very good material very easily for PMP. But PgMP, because it's not that common, it's not that every other PM is doing it. The material, getting a right material, don't go here and there. Just do the right material. Then you will not spend a year or 2 years. I've read somebody's experience, they spend 2 years in reading, or one, that time you might have done MBA while you're doing
exactly. Yeah, my expectation, Rashmi, is if you're doing this kind of program, group mentor program, personal mentor program, is 2 to 3 months. If you're thinking of doing 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, I think it's too long. And as we have talked about VUCA environment, and things might go wrong, something happened. Your mindset, you diverted yourself, and then coming back is a challenge.
Yes.
So get it done as soon as possible. Then you can be free, and you have your family back, work back, and you can enjoy.
Yes, it's a nice feeling when you are done this certification, and it's like, okay, now I'm a certified program manager. I will highly encourage everybody, if they are looking for it, you don't have to look anywhere else. Go to Dharam. It's like he has laid the foundation. He knows everything. You just have to follow this guidance and it will be done. You don't have to waste 4 or 5 years thinking that I have to do it. Just go for it.
Yeah, I didn't pay you for this. Thank you.
You can pay me now.
Yeah, good. Thank you. All right. So one thing I like to, I think some people are waiting for the PDUs as well. So I know we still have some questions to go, but I like to give the PDU. So I am putting that on chat. So if you are on the chat, you can check this code. And for people listening or watching later on, let me give you and read it out, and I will spell it as well. The course identifier is PMEXP, P for Peter. So P for Peter, MEXP -RS-01. So PMEXP-RS-01, and PDU code is 3998. HP, H for Harry, P for Peter, IJOE. Let me repeat, 3998 HPIJOE. So if you are not able to understand what I said, please feel free to message me, email me, so I can give you by email if that's a problem. I do have a special offers which I will be telling you in a minute. So before I reveal that, let me ask one more question, Rashmi.
Sure.
So do PMI certifications have positive installations on the career growth development as a profession? So I think we have been talking about this anyway.
Yes, absolutely. Every organization have their customized way of delivering project, but the core fundamental is from PMI only. PMI has laid a good foundation, and even the organizations which were earlier not too much into the project management, they are also now adopting the PMO functions and the PMI methodology. And we don't have multiple organizations giving the project certificates. It's the PMI which stands you out from the crowd. So definitely it adds value. It not only add value in terms of having writing in your signature that you are PMP certified, it adds value in your knowledge as well. You are more clear. Any certificate, be it PMP, ACP, or PgMP, it expands your horizon. You are better equipped to manage your projects now, and you kind of learn the terminology as well. So there are every certification has certain set of terminology which you might not be using on your day-to-day language, but you learn from this and then you start using that, and that just enhances your knowledge. So I recommend everybody to get certified. It really benefits your career.
Exactly. And you correctly mentioned it gives you a language, and especially when you're dealing or talking with the stakeholders, senior stakeholders, and that gives a direct impression. And also if you're going in job interviews, if you using this terminology, people see that you have certain knowledge and experience. and it should not look like fake, you know, because I learned, I was in one of the webinars, somebody talked about benefit. If you use it like that, people see that because it's not coming out from you, you're just making up. So it should be in your DNA. And I say, you know, when we go through the 6 weeks program, day in, day out, you know, you use that, you learn the terminology and use it in your day-to-day life. That become part of your, you know, DNA, or maybe that's you are so used to of that, so it's become obvious to you. Yeah.
The concept need to be cleared for PgMP. It's a hard certification. It's not very straightforward. You cannot just cram the stuff and go into exam. You won't pass in that way. The concept clarity is very much required for PgMP.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. I have last question, and this is the last question. So how, and this is related to the, you know, current environment we are working in, especially with the female professionals. So how organizations are supporting future female leaders? So can you share your experience on hand pandemic impacted on the working pattern of the women professionals?
So there are certain industries which for which it is heavily impacted for female to work, like retail or manufacturing, where you have to, which you can work only from office. Then it has become more tough from the female community, because then if you don't have a solid child care support, which was there in the pre-pandemic era and it's not available now, it's tough for them to go to office, do their work without worrying whether the place where they're sending their kids is safe or not. But there are certain industries like IT which has kind of benefited from this pandemic, in the fact that you have more flexibility in hand now. Females get opportunity to work from home and manage their kids and their schooling side by side, working from home. That is, the flexibility has come. That's the foremost thing which is required to balance your work. So you are there whole time, even if kids are doing home school, I mean working from their laptops, attending their schools, you are there, you can support them. So that's a good thing. How organizations are helping, I've seen most of the organizations, including mine, they have started programs to assign mentors to the female professionals. Through the surveys and all, it's always evident that female doesn't come out to ask for the mentor generally, but mentor is a very important thing to have in the life, which can help enhance your career. So there is a lot of mapping which happens to map you a female leader or a female professional to a senior management who can help you in your career. This was there in the big in earlier as well, but this has increased more in the pandemic era, which we don't want females to leave office because of their home responsibilities. So organizations are doing these things to keep them engaged, keep them motivated by showing them more opportunities. This is for the existing professionals, but we need to make sure that the new people, new kids who are coming up, the college going people, females, they also opt for the STEM as their career and come into the technology fields. For that, there are certain programs to hire the students, the female students, and give them in the right opportunity so that their interest is developed from the beginning and they are put it in the right place, and then they can grow and continue to lead in the future.
Great, thank you. And it's actually, I mean, in a way, it's like a blessing for a lot of people. You don't have to waste money on childcare and school fees, some other things, of course, transportation, and you can manage your work with the flexible hours. So yeah, there's other side as well, because work never ends. Because you start a computer, laptop in 7 o'clock in the morning and continue. So that's where the skill, you know, how to handle the multitasking with when you are working, not working, that kind of thing has to come. So, and that's a good thing, and I'm sure many organizations start supporting like a PBL professional leaders, and to gain the more momentum and go up to the next ladder, next part of the organization. So it is becoming more obvious, But yes, female also have to do a lot more work to be, picked up by the right, for right job. If you just come with assuming that my organization should look after my interest, everybody's interest. So you need to put your efforts, and you need to show them skills. And just like Rashmi made, and took effort to go through PgMP journey and took the certificate. And if you are female and looking for career change or going to next position in the organization, I think you should take this path. To support you, I do have a special discount. So that discount is for female professionals and physically disabled people, physically or mentally disabled. If you are in that profession, you need some assistance, or current or past veterans. They are serving, they're helping us all the time. They are on the border. So to save, as an acknowledgement, I like to give 20% discount to any of our training programs. If you are in any of them, so please contact me. I mentioned that I heard that you talked about this special discount, and we'll be honoring that. And make sure you email me. And so in email, you're going to receive an email very soon, and from me, talking about their options and my email address. So make sure you email me. Dharam, I'm joining. Can you give me the coupon code? I'll be happy to offer you that discount. And to people who has attended to this program, and if you don't fall in this category, don't worry about it. I do have a special $100 discount to any of our training programs. And attending today, or you are listening this video in future, please let me know that you have watched this video with Rashmi and you mentioned about this, so I will able to give you the discount. So I don't know if you come back after 30 years, I may not be there, but yes.
Nobody will wait that long. People are coming to you very, very soon.
Great. Thank you very much, Rashmi. It was really awesome talking with you. You have shared a lot of good information, a lot of things you talked about, agile, hybrid, and your waterfall, VUCA, which many people are not very clear. You clearly outlined your PgMP journey and what motivated you. So I'm very happy to have you in this webinar, and looking forward to see you more often. And I hope I will be seeing you in my PfMP program, so that while this pandemic going on, you can also do another certificate. And wish you good luck, and good luck to everyone joining today. So thank you guys for your trust and coming again and again to watch this video, listen to us. Hopefully you will continue to watch and benefit from us one way or other. If you do need any assistance with anything, I say anything, please contact me. I'm not talking about just PgMP PfMP certificate. If you're struggling with a job or you need some guidance, hand holding with anything, please feel free to book my time, and I will be, if you book my time, that time is for you. No charge for that. All right, no obligation, nothing. So use that opportunity to talk to me. Just don't talk just for the fun. I like to have fun, but you have to respect my time and your time. So that's something you have to be careful. Otherwise, anything I can help you with, please reach out to me and contact me. Or you and Rashmi is also available on LinkedIn. She will be more than happy to answer your questions as well if you have anything.
Yeah, connect me on LinkedIn if you have any questions. If you're looking for a change in job, you need any kind of support, I'm open to that. Feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah, and thanks for your appreciation, guys. So I saw your comments on the questions. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rashmi. And I will see you guys very, very soon again with another webinar with somebody special. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye. Bye.